What's good, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Patrick Kiera, and today I am back with a new video because I ain't got nothing else to do. Honestly, I am stuck in the house. If you don't know, New York City is currently being quarantined, so you can't really go outside unless you're gonna get food. So I decided to put together a list of different films, fashion films to be specific, that you guys can watch. You can watch these films on Amazon if you have Amazon Prime, Netflix. I didn't do Hulu. I also did YouTube films that I've watched in the past, like documentaries, and also some other little websites that you can find them on or buy them on yourself. So make sure to listen to the films that I have put together for you guys, and I hope that this will at least give you something to do so that you won't have to be bored all the time, all day at home, because I know I am currently going through. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and yeah, just keep watching. All right, so the first films that I'm gonna discuss are the films from Netflix that I thought that you guys could check out. I picked Jeremy Scott, The People's Designer. It's just like a documentary on his life and kind of how he became the creative director of Moschino. So if you guys are interested in learning more about Jeremy Scott, and if you haven't already checked out that film, I would definitely check that out. Another film is The Assassination of Gianni Versace. This is actually a series, and I am obsessed with this series. I already watched it. It's basically giving you the insights of the killer's perspective leading up to the assassination of Gianni Versace. I forgot how many episodes it is, maybe like 10. I think they're about like 40 minutes to like an hour long, but this series is like so amazing, and also kind of just gives you more of an insight to see the life of Gianni before his death. So I would definitely check that out. The last film that I decided on is Casablancas, The Man Who Loved Women, and this basically talks about John Casablancas, who founded the Elite Model Management, and he basically molded supermodels into supermodels. Like, he basically invented supermodels. So just another film to check out. Not really as far as a designer, but it is something that's still within the realm of fashion that I think could be pretty cool for you guys to check out. Next up, I found a few documentaries on Amazon Prime that are all like ready to go. These are ones that you don't have to pay for. The first one is McQueen, which just discusses the life of Alexander McQueen. I actually started this documentary this morning, so this really goes into his life. I really am enjoying it so far. It kind of talks about the turmoil, his very beginnings, all the way leading up to his death. So if you guys are interested in watching that, make sure to check it out. Also, Westwood, Punk Icon Activist, which talks about Vivienne Westwood. This is just another documentary that kind of shows how she shaped fashion and why she's such an icon now. Dries is another film which talks about Dries Van Noten. If you guys are familiar with him, I'm sure you are, because you guys, y'all be on it. Another film to check out is Halston's The Director's Cut, which is talking about the life of Roy Halston Frarwick, who is like a legendary designer. If you guys aren't familiar with the Battle of Versailles, he was a competitor in that. So next up, I have the YouTube documentaries that you guys can check out. The first one is Anti-Fashion 90s in English. This basically discusses all the anti-fashion designers, including Rick Owens, Rei Kawakubo, Yohji Yamamoto, and Demi Meester, and it actually interviews these people, and you kind of get to see their perspective on why they decided to go with the design process and just the designs that they decided to create. So I really enjoyed that film, and it really gave me a lot of more insights into anti-fashion. So if you guys are interested, I would definitely check that out. The Evolution of Cause, Street Aesthetic. And this film discusses Brian Donnelly, who is the founder of Cause, and kind of just how he went from graffiti and art to making these bear bricks and all of these different things that he saw as art, and to making like these huge statues that we see now. I watched this film the other day, and it just really grabbed my attention, and it's just another great informative thing to watch. It's not necessarily about fashion, but as we know, Cause is like a huge part of fashion, even though it's more like art. So I would definitely check that film out. Another film is Battle at Versailles, the competition that shook the fashion industry. And if you guys don't know about the Battle at Versailles, it was basically one of the most historical fashion shows when the French and the Americans competed, and you just have to watch it because I learned so much about American fashion and French designers and things that I didn't know about, or models who were still like a huge part of history. So I would definitely make sure to give that a try if you guys are interested. So the last film that you guys, or the last documentary that I think that you guys should check out on YouTube is called Luxury: Behind the Mirror of High-End Fashion. And this basically is a documentary that discusses the bad parts of fashion. So it kind of talks about like the fur trade and how these animals are treated so horribly before their fur is used, and just seeing certain brands that use fur from certain dealers and not really knowing the process behind the ethics and everything is really insane. I think that you guys would be as interested in it as me. I was watching this film probably a few months ago and it really was like eye-opening. Like, for some brands that are out there that you guys probably have heard of, I would definitely check out that video. So some additional films that I think that you guys should check out, they've either been recommended to me or I have watched them myself, is Yellow is Forbidden, which talks about Gyal Pei, who was she's an haute couture designer, and she actually designed Rihanna's 2015 Met Gala dress, that gown that's yellow and that everyone knows about. It's very famous. Another film is Issey Miyake Moves, which discusses the life of Issey Miyake, and the September issue, which is about Vogue. So if you guys don't know, Vogue's most important issue is the September issue. So this kind of discusses the process of getting that issue out the first Monday of May. Very famous documentary, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but if not, make sure to check it out. It's basically about the Met Gala because that takes place the first Monday in May, and it just talks about the preparation behind it. Valentino, The Last Emperor is another film. This discusses Valentino during his final show right before he retired. So pretty monumental moment that it was captured on film. There is another film called Unzipped, which discusses the life of Isaac I'm gonna butcher his name, which discusses the designer Isaac Mizrahi and his 1994 fall collection. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to check it out. And the last film that I haven't watched personally is Bill Cunningham, New York, which discusses Bill Cunningham. He was a street photographer. He's very famous for his photography for the New York Times. So if you guys are interested, just make sure to check out these films. I hope that this helps. I will also make sure to include a link so that you guys can just view this whole list afterwards, or I'll like post it in the video afterwards. I'll just figure it out. But I hope that you guys stay safe. Stay at home, please, because we don't have time to spread this virus anymore. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.